Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be a fairly quick flip through of the latest journal that I created that I titled Fragments. The reason why I called it Fragments is because I did use a lot of scraps to embellish and create ephemera for this little journal. Now, as many of the journals that I made before, it's more of a folio journal. There are two signatures, which are both very thick. You can see it's kind of a chunky journal, but it's more of a folio-like with some pockets and flaps. For this journal, I decided to go a little bit out of my comfort zone in terms of colors. I did use some colors that I noticed that I don't use a lot in my projects. My main colors were sort of lilac, so a cool purple, a light purple, blue, and also gray. So a sort of a cool color theme. And I really loved creating this journal. I always love when I get out of my comfort zone and discover new things that I enjoy making. Another common theme in this journal is sort of window elements, frame elements. I had a lot of fun creating and coming up with new stuff like this one, a really dimensional element. It's a sort of a box that I decorated on the inside, giving all the elements a little bit of a dimension, and I loved it. I love that little element. There's a little inclusion on top of that inside of that pocket that is on top of the box, and on the very top of that box you can see there are some dried flowers to decorate. It's kind of an accident. It wasn't that gap wasn't supposed to be there, but I made a mistake in measuring the size of the box. But I'm glad I made that mistake because I got to add that natural element. And now I'm showing a little sort of journaling card that I made that goes inside that tuck spot that also has a little window. You can see it here, another one of my favorite areas of the journal. I tried to go back and forth with the colors, so we'd have these pages that had more of gray with blue, and then I had some purple. I did not mix the color a lot, like I don't have a lot of pages in this little journal. Well, in this chunky but sort of small in size journal where I had purple and blue mixed together, but overall all of the colors were present. And this is some little ephemera that I made with some stamps, really simple ephemera here, because again I wanted to use scraps, but I also used a lot of things that I had bought within the last few months or even before that I wasn't using. I feel like I've been buying more than I've been using, and I don't like that. I want to use the things that I buy. I want to use the the stash. I want to use up my stash and create beautiful things like this one. I really love how this journal turned out, to be honest. Like this page with the hearts, they are all stickers. All of those elements, the scissors, the hearts, the little pendant, the buttons, they're all stickers that I used to decorate. And I don't use stickers a lot because sometimes I feel like they don't look as nice, but I managed to make them look nice. Even the little bottle, the frame element here is a sticker, the butterfly, and so I got to use this butterfly. Yeah, so then there is this little sort of file folder element. This is the more grungy part of the journal. I didn't use a lot of grunge. I wanted this journal to be more of a shabby romantic one. But I needed to add a little bit of grunge because I feel like it always makes things look a little bit better for me. So the idea behind this journal really all came out of this particular signature that I'm going to show you in a little bit. I had this file folder cut out. This is the signature here, the little element. I had this file folder cut out of a paper that I didn't quite like. It had a gray, and I don't use gray a lot. And then I covered it up with this flowery paper that all had blue and gray in it, and some areas of this paper that I did in kind of a collage ripped way started to sort of lift at angles. And I had this idea of making a very shabby journal and calling it Fragments because I wanted it to look like a kind of a weathered element. You can see here there are a lot of elements that are ripped, even in this one. Yeah, the sort of weathered, ruined by time aspect, and I really really love that. Also one of my favorite pages, this one. And so yeah, so I ended up creating this journal all from that signature. I sort of built the journal around it instead of making the journal and then adding the signatures. I also got to use a gadget that I recently got gifted by my lovely sister. She gifted me one of those pocket thermic printers, and it's really life-changing because, like this element right here, I made it with that little transparent picture. It only prints in black and white, but it's great because, you know, I do vintage, so I don't really need colored stuff, and you can color the pictures if you use the right stuff. It is a little bit sensitive to wet mediums, but you can definitely use your distress inks. I also used aqua markers to color some of them, some elements on it. So yeah, I used the printer for a lot of things. Most of the pictures and the little transparent elements that you see in this journal, I made with that. And I really really love that gadget. Honestly, it really is life-changing because I can have ephemera in a moment, in the in really the time of a little print. So this element right here is not a signature, it's sort of an element that I made for the back cover with a frame again and some specimen dies. And here on the back of this one I put some more dried flowers and one last frame with another dried flower that is a little tuck spot. So we've come at the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed this quick little flip through. And if you did, please consider liking, subscribing to my channel, leave a comment down below, let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!